Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I'm sure you all know me. I'm Mahima Bantia, co-founder at EduSure. And today we are all here so that we can ask our questions and learn from Aman. Aman, who's made it to ISI and DSE this year, so a successful year for him.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Just one second.
Yeah, I hope I'm audible and visible.
Can you all hear me clearly? Am I audible to everyone? Okay, wonderful. Aman, one second. All right, everyone. So let's welcome Aman. Aman, can you please switch on your video?
Yeah, I hope I'm audible and visible. All right, perfect.
All right,
Yeah,
wonderful. Aman, firstly, very, many congratulations.
yeah, thank you so much.
All right. So, before we open or we will let the students ask their questions, why don't you just share a little bit about you, your background, where you're from, and just start with your basics. If there's anything that you want to start with, that whatever you felt made a difference in your journey, and then we'll let them ask you questions.
All right, sure. So hi everyone, I'm Aman. I'm from Delhi. I did a 4-year program from University of Delhi itself, Sri Venkateswara College. So I first decided that I was quite uncertain in my second year, and it was only like the second half of my third year that I decided that okay, maybe I want to do economics. And then it was then that I narrowed it down, and it was indeed quite late till then. But I think it was December or something. So then I knew that okay, we can do whatever we can do in Jam, which is in February. But long haul, I had in mind that okay, I'll do my best, and then we'll see where we land up, and we'll make a decision from that point on. Um, I had it very clear that I would want to do the bigger picture was always to pursue a PhD. So in my mind, there was no doubt that I wouldn't mind taking a drop year because to me it was like a 40-year career ahead. A year here and there doesn't matter. That was my thinking then. Then I gave Jam and Gate. I remember I joined like a crash course. I think it was after Jam Gate that I joined the crash course with EduSure, but that the in the 25 session. But yeah, during that time I just picked up previous year papers and then did as many questions as I could do. But indeed at that time I could not do much, and I remember it was quite a sobering result, at least for Jam. Gate, I don't know how. Towards the very end I could get admission to Madras, but that was another thing. But it was like it, I did not deserve it on merit. It's very circumstantial at times. I do believe every selection mechanism is more circumstantial than we give it credit for. Um, so yeah. Then I joined ISI crash course, I think tail end of March. And then I studied like so thing about me is like I can't study a lot. Like in terms of the number of hours that I can devote to something, but I try to study like okay 2 hours, but that 2 hours, all that I can give, I give. So again, it's very personal journey. I feel this preparation, even competition at large. I think people have their merits and demerits, like you say, no, comparative advantages in certain areas. Like I felt some things, quantitative things I could grasp quicker, but I could never like physiologically give myself a lot of time. If I'm stuck beyond 15 minutes at a particular topic, I cannot move forward. Doesn't matter if I spend 2 hours on it. I need to take a break. It's something like that. Um, so yeah, indeed, after all the exams in 25, I remember I got like offer from only IIT Madras, somehow gate cracked. And then I was close for Kanpur because Kanpur is in again that year it used to be their own in-house exam, and it used to be largely based on mental math and like probability type questions. And then again an area where I thought that maybe like it was like somewhere in 23, 24 rank, and then I missed out by a couple of ranks, I think. And then that opportunity missed out, and then I decided that okay, I don't mind devoting an entire year for this. Maybe I can do better next time around. Indeed,
You left the Madras seat then.
yeah, I left the Madras seat and then I was like, okay, we can strive for better. If nothing, then maybe we get Madras again, or even if we get Kanpur the same, even if we maintain the same baseline, there's nothing lost in. And also, like, I want to do research in the future, so I thought this was sort of like a good opportunity because I could do a
So
dissertation
I'm going to
within.
stop you. I'm just going to pick on the important points that I feel that I need that needs elaboration. So one thing very different in your mindset is that you are saying that it's a 40-year career. I don't
Yeah,
mind giving a little bit extra, but getting my base ready, which is very different. Everybody is thinking of how to minimize the time, how to get into the job market, or do your finish your masters as soon as possible. But your mindset is different. You're looking at like you are saying that even if I next year make it to the same institute, the base is same, nothing is lost. So you really are very long term wise thinking that let me uh, whatever is best for my long term, do that and not think about short term maximization of returns. So I think that is a very different kind of mindset that you have than what most students kind of say. Your parents and all, everybody's okay leaving a Madra IIT seat.
yeah, it was my decision in the end. I don't think they would mind. They would have mind
They
at the
didn't
time.
mind
Yeah,
that.
they didn't mind. Yeah.
Okay, and you were also not scared. What if I don't get in next year? There's nothing. You were not scared about that.
I think like I had bigger aspirations, so I was always more towards looking ahead than
Okay.
uh, it couldn't get much worse than that. I don't know. At that time, it felt like that. Um,
Good. So some confidence also that shows that okay, okay. If I'm studying for little time and I'm able to crack something, maybe
hmm,
not the best, but crack something, that means there's if I work hard, why not try to aim higher? So great.
yeah.
So self confidence is also required, as much as anything else. All right. So let's hear more then.
Yeah, so where was I? I think yeah. So then I decided, and then I spent a couple of months dabbling myself. I knew that I had to join like EduShorka, the crash course only, because I knew like that would be the better option for me. I don't know because I can't sit every day 2 hours, 1 hour, dedicated towards this. It's just too bleak for me to think about it and
Okay.
let alone to act on it. So seventh semester it was more focused towards college again, and then eighth semester I abandoned college entirely. I just remember like a few questions that was shared with me, so I'm bringing that with me how to manage college and that I feel like it's a very different state of mind when you're focusing on college, when you're focusing on say dissertation research versus when you're focusing on a competitive exam or competition at large. I think I've always thought that okay, it's a game of numbers and like you're maximizing each and every part and you're tuning your brain towards solving those MCQs in the shortest amount of time. This I believe like if I have to give it my all, then I'll have to abandon college entirely, whatever come what may. It's fine,
Again,
marginal.
I would again like to point out that your mindset again was very different because you did the crash course. Then you thought again I'll do the second crash course only because I have met no one who's told me that I choose the crash course. Everybody who I met says that I wish I had done this sooner. I wish I had more time. I wish I had prepped sooner.
No,
Nobody tells
but
me that I.
yeah, but like the crash course was like it was so good for me. I figured like I could tick off each and every topic and it was right in front of me. I could see the entire plan from 0 to 100%. And then along the way I could trace my steps. And it's only 2-3 month commitment.
Yeah.
Even as a studying perspective, and I think I could keep up with okay, 15 minutes on one topic, and if I can grasp it, then I can retain it till the next 2-3 months. As long as I grasp it fully. The problem was that again, so I also like to study for like whatever I like, I'll study that. Whatever I don't, I'll deprioritize that. So I never studied Indian economy the entire 2 years. I may have studied like one day before CUET PG 26 and maybe a day
What do you
before.
do in one day? How much did you do in one day?
No, you just look at, okay, you have some sort of base that, okay, 5 year plans hote hain, and then, those, I remember a table for, because GATE and JAM used to ask one thing a lot. I think it was 5 year plans only. Uh, yeah, so I just memorized, like understood, okay, manufacturing, then agri manufacturing, basic industries, then social issues like poverty, so like Garibi Hatao, and through that family planning, and I could make a chronology from that, and I only studied that. So my main issue was like, okay, I think I liked studying maths a lot. So like things like calculus, like multivariate calculus and calculus in general. Things like I don't know, I like abstract things, so I used to study those. You give me a number, I do not care about, like I don't have to bother with like policy or whatever. I can just grab that number and I can see how to treat it or how to go about it. And that's why I like micro as well. The only thing with micro was it's very vast. So I could not wrap my head around what is Marshallian demand, what is this demand, what is that demand, because there were five different terms for demand, and I think it was till the very end I cracked what is demand, what is Marshallian, what is Hicksian. With it, it was a journey for me, and
I can, I, yeah. I think that is what you are saying is very different for each person. For each person,
yeah,
you just get stuck with something which is simple, but you just,
yeah.
I
If I only
often,
know what Marshallian demand is, I can calculate it. I just don't know what it is.
mm,
It's something like that.
I
So
often used
again,
to share this one story that what is Nash equilibrium, I just couldn't get. I took
okay.
7 days to just try to internalize ये होता क्या है? What is this person trying to say with Nash? It took me 7 days to be able to understand that.
I think game theory in and of itself, people struggle to explain as well initially, and uh, it takes time. I get that. I really like game theory as well. So I used to study whatever I liked, and then so because there was just so much to do in 2025, I just picked off one by one, and to my surprise, towards the end, I was happy with my attempt. Like I didn't think that okay, within given this much time, I could not have done any better. And again, I did not make it to the merit list, but like I was fine with it. Okay, my paper got checked. That's good enough. And one thing that did good for me was I decided to file an RTI and see my answer script so that I get an idea for the next year that how's the checking done.
Oh,
And
that's very interesting. Please share more. What did you find from
um
based on what you saw? That
yeah,
how was the
so
marking?
I would also caveat this with I think it varies every year. Last year the paper was easier, so the checking was hard. And I think this year the
Yes.
paper was hard, but so the marks I estimated for myself, they were very underestimated. So I think that also matters. But like for 2025 that I saw my mark sheet, it was like partial marking was nowhere near to how much you would think. So like if you've so there was this math question where like you have to find the solutions and then you have to check for other solutions as well. I think it was something to the power of something, and equals to 1. So either log 1 can be 1 or something. It was something like it's, yeah, 1 to the power 0 or 0 to the power 1, something like that. So you have to check different solution, positive, negative, and so on. And even though, um, so even though there were, I found like, let's say I found like 2 out of 3 solutions, that does not mean that I'm guaranteed 2/3 of the marks. I was given the bare minimum because I did not even think of what other scenarios could have been. Um, Similarly, I remember a couple of things, and so I realized one thing, that getting the answer exactly as the answer sheet is next to impossible. But what is possible is that attempting as many questions as I could, and this also went against a lot of the exam advice that I got. Like, okay, uh, like write as much as you can or explain it step by step. But I think what more matters more, like these people, they're sitting there, they're smart enough to follow your reasoning, as long as you're not making big leaps without explanation. You should write as much as you're thinking. Yes, you should write that down, but as long as it's helping you, it's doing you a service, I feel. So step by step, if you think you'll forget it in the next step what your reasoning was, then write it down, explain it. But don't do like 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 and then do the bod mass, the entire thing. Or even there were like things you should realize for yourself, that how much is too much or how much explanation is just enough. So again, how much does it serve you? But then again, my central point is just that preparation is in and of itself very personal, very personalized process. Someone out there, I know my friends, like close friends of mine, they were really good at Indian economy because they just know a lot about uh, things at large, because they have had humanities background or number of reasons. They're very knowledgeable. I am not. I cannot know all that. So I knew that Indian economy is not as predictable in the paper as say something like micro is. There's a huge precedent of micro questions or macro questions or math questions or stats questions that you can reasonably cover with like
Yeah.
80% confidence that I can get it. So again, that was another reason. Apart from me not liking that way of learning, this was also one of the reasons that I thought. Second was, I think, very calculative. I had in mind that so every exam barring CUET has +3 -1. Um, so JAM, GATE, IIT Delhi, even ISI, if you demean all those values, so you get +3 -1 0, +3 for a correct answer, -1 for
Plus
a wrong.
4.
Me,
25% is the negative.
sorry,
25% is the negative. So plus 4 minus 1.
in ISI, no, no. ISI it's like
ISI
0.
is different. ISI
ISI
is
is
the
different.
different call altogether. 4-1-4-0-1.
Even so, IITs and ISI, it's the same thing essentially. It's just demean. So, like, if you demean the ISI distribution, you will get the IIT distribution of JAM and GATE. And
Acha.
it's like actuarially, if you guess, the probability will be 0 of a true guess. Um, so yeah, but CUET incentivizes you to guess more, and that is also something I did in my CUET exams both times. Um, and yeah, but again, anecdotal evidence, I feel, is not always like, okay, this is my journey. I'm telling you anecdotal evidence, but don't think of that ki yahi hoga. There's like,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a,
that is, I think from your experience, what I can understand is that please do what works for you. And
yes,
play on your strengths. If maths your strength,
exactly,
go for it. If Indian eco is your strength, go for it. Whatever is your strength, go for it. Don't try to copy person A, person B,
right,
because that will not do you good. Do stay true to yourself. So if you know you're mathematically bent, probably maths micro is going to come easier to you. So you know, figure that out. Do that well. At least guarantee your marks there instead of trying to mug up things or do do a lot of what is not so core to you. So that is what I get from what you're trying to explain. It's what I did in my time. 2006 when I made it to DSE was actually something similar. I prepared for 15 days. That time, 15 days was okay. I prepared for only 15 days and I played to my strengths. I did not like maths. I did not like micro. I did it very less. I loved stats. I did a lot of stats. I liked macro. I did a lot of macro. And, so same, it worked out for me also.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, play to your strengths. I mean, that is something that I
Yeah.
believe is really true. And I think that applies to everything because a lot of people get stuck on which book. Only this book, say if I study, every topper has studied from this one book and I should know which book they have studied from. I am going to study from only that book. And then you see that all toppers have studied from there, whatever they wanted. Somebody did not open books, somebody did their college books, somebody did book A, somebody did book B. So, that cannot define, a book cannot define whether you are going to make it or not. It is your understanding of what you read from that book. So if book A is working for you, use book A. If book B is working for you, use book B. Don't get stuck on, only this book works. So yeah, so I think we can put that analogy there also that uh, each the book you should like reading that book basically.
Yeah. Also, like, again, the thing is like the syllabus overall is consistently more or less the same, and it's vast enough that across four main domains like micro, macro, stats, maths, you can. So with limited time, what you can do is like I can grasp concepts of maths quicker because I have studied it somewhere in the past and then I can recall it quicker and then I can understand it quicker. So the marginal return of effort of each minute spent, I think that's again the personal aspect of okay, I'll do maths more or I'll do stats more. That was
Oh,
also like in my mind. And again, it was like please, like I know you wanna put in effort and you're an entire spending an entire year, a lot of financial resources, banking on this, and your future counts on it. And take it seriously. Do however you want to do it, like whatever fits your thing, but try to enjoy what you're studying. I, so my goal is always to do research, right? So I hopefully I do end up doing what I want. But like so then I had in mind that okay, I need to study what I enjoy, and then otherwise I would not have been able to spend time on this. Another thing, so in 2026, I did a better thing. I spent a couple of good months on it, and what I did was I realized that the sleeping cycle and everything had to be uh, curated or centered around this 4 hour ISI gap. So I had two pockets of 2 hours studying each in those 10:30 to 12:30 and
yeah.
2 to 4. And I tried to maintain it as consistently as possible because in the back of my mind, I have always felt like I need to be, in order to perform decently, I need to be well slept. So like be relaxed in that mind, have that mindset that I can think there because ISI is a very thinking paper.
Mm.
I feel, and I always feel like it's fine if I don't know a couple of things, but if I can think on the spot, then I tend to be fine. Like I'll think of stuff or I'll work things out, be in a better position to work things out there and then. This is something that I was
Yeah,
like,
I think I so agree that that your body just gets attuned to working in that time. So 10:30 to 12:30, you are just used to figuring if you're used to sleeping that time, it's going to be bad in the exam. You have to be used to be up and about that time. So yeah, that it's important to be used to those 2 hour full effort, full concentration and effort in those 2 hours, like that you have to be used to that. And which is why I also suggest that it is so important to do full length papers. And because I believe that anybody can solve the paper if given 5 hours or 10 hours. It is that 2 hours which is the challenge. You can't do it in 2 hours, you can do it in 5 hours perhaps. So so if you're giving yourself an ample time, you won't it's difficult. It may be difficult in final exam. So correct. All right. Let's open the floor for questions. If anybody has any questions, you can please feel free to unmute yourself and ask. I hope you are able to unmute yourselves also. Does anybody have any questions on if they would like to ask about either ISI or CUET? You've heard that he doesn't know much about Indian economy, so that would not be very helpful. But if there's anything else that anybody else would like to ask, that would help. So mocks, how did mocks help you? Did you take all the mocks? Uh, did
I
you?
did attempt all the mocks, and even during those 2 hour sessions. So what I tried to do is like DSE paper is 3 hours. I used to do them in 2 hours. ISI PEAs I used to try to do it an hour and a half. I knew I was like I could do questions quickly. I apart from when I get stuck. So whenever so I my mocks aside, like main thing I think was like practice papers, which were like previous year papers,
Hmm.
and then you get a hang of how things are. And then when you're debriefing things, so like tallied all the answers, which are right, which are wrong, and which I didn't know, then you can spend more time on it. But like I used to try to do my best because I knew that someday or the other I will end up in an exam, and I would be backs would be against the wall, and then you won't have time. So it's better to try to know how to do 3 hour papers in 2 hours.
So
And
basically, you were like, I'll squeeze myself. I will, sleep
yes,
at the right time. I will like the worst case possible. Let me get
yes,
used to be able,
maximum.
yeah,
Yeah,
perform even in that
yeah.
because that happened with a lot of people. A lot of people told me my ISI exam started late. The teacher gave out the papers late. 15-20 minutes were eaten away because of whatever reasons. So I mean that can happen. I remember Samkit always told me that he had a rank 15 in the DSE exam. That time DSE exam used to happen. So he had a rank 15. He's saying the fan was right on my face. So like I was feeling so cold throughout that I left the exam half an hour earlier because I was just irritated. I couldn't take it anymore. So you have suboptimal conditions, not the most comfortable position to give
That
an exam.
reminds me, I also used to study. So like during summer, I used to open up a window and no AC. I used to sit in those conditions during those 2 hour sessions as well to try. So like I could be faced with these situations. So like within those also, I used to like do that.
Okay, yeah. So great. I mean, if all of this helped you to keep a cool head in the exam,
Yeah.
that's basically the thing. That you have
Be
to keep a
ready
cool
there.
head, whatever works. Again, whatever works, to help you keep a cool head. And what about this time? The exam was a little tougher than the
Very.
regular.
I
So
thought a lot, huh?
yeah. So how did you deal with that? I mean, there are exams which CUET was more easier than required. ISI was more difficult than required. So two extremes. So
I
how
don't
does
I don't respect CVT enough to even gauge that. So, but the thing was, yes, whenever exam is difficult, I think of two things. One, this could be objectively difficult exam for everyone.
yeah.
Another is that things are circumstantial. It could be that just the one concept you did not study is very dense and it was and you found it difficult, and the rest of the world it works on averages. So for them, it's not as difficult as you find it. So like I remember jam I found difficult. Difficult means like I did not get the desired rank that I would have wanted. Uh, a a little bit off. I made a silly error as well, a few silly errors as well. Execution was not great in jam, but I remember it was also because one part of micro, which is public goods, externalities, welfare, economics, that section was not furnished enough, and I identified it after the exam. For ISI, sitting in the exam, I knew it was difficult, but and after PE, I thought ki maybe it's difficult just for me. But then I came out and I talked to a couple of people. Everyone found it difficult.
Yeah.
But again, I did thoda guessing as well. And if I think overall it was marginally net positive after all the guesses came in, as a
Okay.
result, like had I left all of them versus that I did, but that could go either way. Because net is again zero. But then sitting there in that hall, I was like, I need to make it past PEA at least so that I get a chance in PEB.
Hmm.
And yeah, but PEB, I was sure that this is difficult. And it was so one thing was the pattern had changed, 7 questions instead.
Yeah.
See, ultimately, it's the same thing that it's 120 marks. It was
Yeah.
100, but like it is a 2 hour words paper. It's just I found it difficult again because the questions from statistics and mathematics, a few first or second, a few of the front questions were like I was struggling with.
Hmm.
I could do the 30 marker. That was key for me because I did in my dissertation, I incorporated a lot of I did many iterations of optimization. So I had this habit of trying to figure out what my model is doing on pen and paper. And I got in a habit of, okay, this is how you do optimization. So like it was a rhythm, and I made a silly error there of a negative sign, and I could figure out that part B was not, I was not getting the entire thing. I was missing a negative sign somewhere. I just wrote in a box sideways that, okay, I understand that I've made a silly error where a negative sign I've missed, but my intuition tells me that everything else is correct and you will find everything else to be correct. So please consider this.
Wow. I think we lost Aman. Nobody has any questions? Anyone? So his is a very different case. I think he's a confident boy who's sticking to his strengths, and I think for all of you, the message is that stick to your strengths. Like there's no one right way of doing it. That only this is the way of doing it. Unfortunately, it's not that.
Ma'am, excuse
Yeah,
ma'am. I
Shreya.
just have one doubt. Like, are we eligible for the MSc Stats program in ISI as an economics honors grad?
I wouldn't be aware honestly that are you eligible or not, but given how MSQE works, MSQE is that you have to the entrance.
I
If
mean,
you're
ma'am, they released their guide in which for MSc Stats, any bachelor's degree is eligible. But now
Hmm.
there are two links which are showing like different scenarios. Like one shows we are eligible, and one is saying that only BSc Stats students are eligible.
Both are ISI links.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And is there something which is latest or old or anything like that?
Like the 26, 27 says that any degree is eligible,
Hmm.
but the other one is there, but like it's not the date is not mentioned on that.
Stats, I mean, I don't know. Not aware of stats.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so like I was saying that I mean, please follow your journey. Yeah, I think it is more of a respecting yourself. Respect yourself. If you need a particular thing, for example, if you need to focus on any one subject, let's say maths is a weak point. If you need to focus on maths. Don't bother that my friend is so good at maths and he's so zoomed ahead. Forget your friend. I am telling you, I have students who have been very bad at maths and they have made it to ISI. So just focus on your weak areas or whatever. Yes, Nandini, please tell me.
Ma'am, a little of my personal question. I
Ah,
started prepping just a month ago, and
hmm,
I'm already feeling quite overwhelmed with the amount of syllabus and the questions we have to
hmm.
do. So, how do you get over that feeling of overwhelm? And then further, at this time, DU is having its holidays, but then to manage it with your third year placements going on, etc.
See, Nandini, one thing is that the journey is not going to be smooth. It's not going to be every day same. That every day you're going to study a lot, and every day you're going to have the mood. Every day you'll be as motivated. It's not going to happen. There will be days when you'll be really down. There will be days when you'll not be able to study at all. There will be days when you'll be very motivated. There will be days when कितना भी आप पढ़ लो question solve ही नहीं होगा. There will be days like बहुत जल्दी solve हो जाएंगे. So it's a journey of up and downs. It's not a straight journey. That's also a mistake. That everybody expects ki matlab it's going to be a smooth sailing. It's not smooth sailing. It is like this that you will get overwhelmed. You will not feel like studying for 2 days. Mat karo. Take a break. Just go for a movie. Go for a walk. Study less that day. Take a break. Come back the next day and do it. The only thing is that just keep on doing it, and you have started already. See, that's a big plus. If you imagine if you had started late and you were feeling this overwhelm in December, तो क्या होता, अभी तो you are feeling this overwhelm, it's fine, you are still in July. So by the time you reach, let's say November, December, imagine how much syllabus you would have covered, right? So it's okay. Just keep doing it. That's all. Just keep doing it as much as you can. No need to be perfect. No need to be like, oh my god, if I don't study today and if I don't do all the questions given to me and homework today, then I'm doomed. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. Nothing like that. Just try and do as much as possible and try and move forward.
मैम
Thank you, ma'am.
सेमेस्टर के टाइम में भी पूरा गैप पड़ जाता है वो
पड़ता है
बहुत
अंकुति, सबके लिए पड़ता है, बट दैट्स द थिंग, इफ यू हियर ऑल द पीपल हु हैव मेड इट, सबके एग्जाम्स है, सबके एग्जाम्स होते हैं, सबका ब्रेक आता है. इट इज कितने बच्चों, आप कितने बच्चों के तो एग्जाम्स के बीच में फाइनल आएगा, आईएसआई का जो फाइनल पेपर है वो आपके एग्जाम्स के बीच में आएगा, वो भी होता है. So everything happens to, again, everyone. सबके साथ ऐसे चलता रहता है. So that is something that we just have to deal with. कि ऐसा होगा. There will be 10 days आप नहीं पढ़ पाओगे because college exams होंगे. So that is there. And there will be 10 days जहाँ पे आप college के लिए बिल्कुल नहीं पढ़ पाओगे because you have to prepare for your masters that time. वो भी होगा.
this also,
Yeah, it's a part and parcel. मतलब there will be times you will have to sacrifice one, there will be times you will have to sacrifice the other. There's no other way. But हाँ, ये है कि मतलब कॉलेज के एग्जाम्स को थोड़ा हमें समझना पड़ेगा that we can't all the time study for only college, because ultimately आप कॉलेज में आप अगर टॉप भी कर जाते हो, देना तो आपको फिर भी ऐसा का एग्जाम पड़ेगा ही. It's not going to help you in cracking the ISI exam. Concepts help करेंगे, but PYQs तो ISI के फिर भी सॉल्व करने ही है. तो थोड़ा उस हिसाब से पढ़ो कि आपके कॉलेज में भी अच्छे मार्क्स आए. और मतलब एंड आप ये देखो, क्लास में सब पढ़ रहे होंगे, चाहे मास्टर्स के लिए कोई पढ़ रहा है, एमबीए के लिए कोई पढ़ रहा है, पढ़ तो सभी रहे हैं. तो एंड सबको साथ में ही करना है, मतलब किसी के पास लग्जरी नहीं है कि हम छोड़ ही देते हैं इसको, या नहीं करते हैं ये काम. यू विल जस्ट हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग एंड यू विल जस्ट हैव टू लाइक इवन अमन वाज सेइंग, फाइंड योर रिदम. तुम्हारा क्या रिदम है? There was in my time, there was a boy जो सुबह पढ़ता था. वो उसका सुबह का अच्छा टाइम था कि वो सुबह 2-3 घंटे अपना पूरा सब कुछ भूल कर, बाकी सब कुछ भूल कर, वो सिर्फ एंट्रेंस के लिए सुबह सुबह पढ़ता था, बाकी फिर उसका दिन फ्री. दैट वर्क फॉर हिम. फॉर समबडी नाइट टाइम वर्क्स कि मैं बस नाइट में एक स्लॉट है जिसमें मैं एंट्रेंस के लिए पढ़ रहा हूँ, बाकी मेरा पूरा दिन अपने कॉलेज के लिए. दैट वर्क्स फॉर सम पीपल. So it depends. Just find your routine and your schedule and you can work according to that.
Yes, so I'm sorry. I think my there's something wrong with my laptop. I think it just shut down.
No
I've
worries.
joined again, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. I think the question, if there's any question directed, then I'd be
The
happy
question
to.
was, they were asking that how to manage college exams with.
Yeah, no, I agree. I heard your answer, and like I agree with every word. You at some point you have to make a choice in that trade-off, and there
Yeah.
are times, as you said, when one would take priority over the other, and vice versa.
Yes. Yeah. So that they were asking. Anybody else? Anyone? Anybody? Please, yes, Anvisha.
Ma'am, actually, I wanted to ask that about PEB exam. Like, how are we supposed to prepare for that? Which books are like our college readings enough, or like how should we prepare for those PEB questions of ISI?
Okay. Aman, would you like to say?
Yeah. So I love PEB in general, but there's like two parts to PEB. First, like PEB is very intimidating at first. It was for me as well. And it should be a little intimidating, but it's not insanely difficult either. There is a pattern to it. PB, there's two parts that you can do. One part is like just random out of nowhere. There are puzzles at times.
Yeah.
Like I remember a couple of times there were just some puzzles that, okay, in that moment, if you can think and answer that puzzle and arrive at an answer, great. There's like huge marks that you're bagging with very little effort in terms of practicing and all. Because but there's a second part to it, which is
Predictable.
PYQs. I think
Yeah.
PYQs, there's a very set pattern, especially in
Yeah.
macro,
Yeah.
even in micro. it's just applied micro. And even if there's like 2 3 concepts mixed, I think after some practice over time, over PYQs, I think you get a hang of it, and at least you make yourself capable enough to attempt something in the future. Even if, okay, it might not be that the question in your exam is the exactly the same as you did a PYQ. That is a bit unrealistic to assume as well, expect from like these professors to paper setters to hand you. But all you can do is like prepare yourself. So okay, you can do itna well, itna deep integration, you can think itna deep. Probability type questions may also, there's like that again, mocks and previous year PEB papers.
Yeah.
And
So, Anvisha, if I can answer that, so the thing is, the best you can do is to spend time at home practicing the PYQs, because those PYQs will force you to think in directions that you've not. You are given a certain information, and an entirely new question has come to you. You've never seen this question ever before, right? So, how do you approach it? And that practice only PYQs or mocks can give you, like Aman was saying. So when you are studying, uh, hold the resistance, hold the don't see the answers immediately. Don't see the solution that we provided immediately. Then that will become like a bane. If you see our answers immediately, question pada or answer dekh liya, that is not going to help you. Question पढ़ा और आंसर को खुद सॉल्व किया, करते गए for days. Sometimes you will have to continuously think for days, because क्या होगा, you will think of something. ये one like the straightforward approach doesn't work, doesn't give you the answer, not related to the what ISI is asking. Okay, maybe this, but still it's not the right path. Then what mistake am I making? What could be the right path? Then again force yourself to work something out. That practice is what is going to help you in the final exam. So this is the time to practice that skill. That an entirely new question when you're faced with, what do you do with it? How does your mind start thinking? So in the final exam, when you've done that practice, you will again, then your mind will not take so much time to think of 5 alternatives. That okay, maybe this, okay, not this, maybe not this, oh, okay, maybe this works, and write it down. So just that practice is required.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Drishti.
Ma'am, actually, I wanted to ask that how should we go about the general sections and the current affairs section of the CUET? Because there's no defined syllabus for the same, and I'm not sure what is the approach we should follow, or what are the sources that we should study from.
My take on that was that's what I tell all my students, that again, in CUET, Indian economy part and GK part, there are some predictable questions, there are some unpredictable questions. Okay, predictable is what, like Aman was mentioning, let's say 5-year plans. It has repeatedly been asked. Or some part like questions on railways, some finance commissions, some monetary policies, some rates. These are things that they ask generally again and again and again. And then there are questions which are new every year. Okay. So my take would be that we focus on the PYQs, we focus on pattern forming, that okay, this is what they usually ask. Some chronology questions they keep on asking, some books who's written they keep on asking. You can form a pattern about that also. And what notes we give is based on that pattern only. Like I don't give anything extra. Whatever I think you should know, the bare minimum that you should know, I do that. The rest, the vast ocean of what is possible, I leave that out, because that is spending time on, that is like trying to hit a bullseye from very far. So out of everything that's possible, maybe 7 questions or 5 questions are going to come, and you're trying to predict that, and that could be out of anything. So CUET also asks you 4 years back what happened to this number. How many numbers and how many variables are you going to memorize? You can't do that. So my suggestion would be to assume that 5 to 7 marks, 5 to 7 questions in CUET is something that you don't have to attempt at all. And your challenge is that the next 67 questions, 68 questions, 70 questions, that is out of that, how much have to you get right. the 5 questions, if you run after, you will not be able to do anything. But if you try to maximize those 70 questions, that I think can give you really good results.
Okay, ma'am, that makes sense.
Aman, anything you would like to add to that?
No, completely agreed, ma'am. I think again, there's like an ego aspect with questions. So like we tend to do that, oh, we need to do each and every single question, and we need to know everything. And I think within competition, that has to take a backseat. Because your peers may also not know a lot of things, and you need to essentially see how are you going to outperform them in a way. Like, okay, maybe not as it's not as bleak as that, but uh, yeah, so like maybe the other person also doesn't know, and you did not have to do each and every single question. You just have to see how can you maximize your result, and that could be using, like, again, so the repetition of certain topics like Indian economy after colonialism, and 11
Yeah, there's
12th, I remember
1991,
Indian
the
economy
reforms in 1991. There are such,
reforms.
yeah,
Yeah.
they usually come. So it's easy to do those. Then it's not difficult. All right, guys. So unfortunately, we'll have to close the session now. Uh, we have another class coming up, but in case you have any other questions, you can ask me. I can ask Aman if any of you want to answer him, or I can help you them myself. So thank you so much, Aman, for joining and sharing your strategy and journey. And everyone, all the best. I hope you all do very well, and see you all later. Bye bye.